Hardee's. I am so sorry. Obviously, I've had a lot going on. On Saturday night, I was like, I feel like I forgot to do something last week. Or this was this week. I said this week. I was like, something's missing. What did I forget to do? And it hit me. I didn't do a reaction episode 3. I looked to make sure 'cause I thought I had did it, but I didn't do it. So I was like, okay, well then, the new episode comes out tomorrow, so I guess I'll do 3 and 4 together. But you know what? I don't want to do that because some of you guys watch this later, or some of you guys go back and watch the season over and like to go episode to episode like I do. Every episode deserves their own episode. How many times can I say episode? Oh my God, James! Time. Let me have some coffee, and it's time to wake up. So I'm a little late in putting this out. Episode 4 will be out tomorrow. So I'm doing them separately. Two separate. I have my notes. I have my notes. Two separate episodes. So I'm so sorry. I don't think I've ever done it before in the 10 years I've been doing this, where I literally just forgot to do it. Hi guys, we had rain. I think it's what threw me off too. We had rain in LA finally. We had rain. Now, unfortunately, it flooded my service points. So I'm dealing with that right now. I'm like, but I have a house still, so it's good. I'm like, can't win for lose sometimes. There you go, right? But we're doing okay. We're doing good. I'm laughing because I'm crazy. I don't know, but I'm alive. All right. Episode 3 was called All That Glitters. And a lot of kid stuff, or I should say older kid stuff. And I know the next episode it carries into that. So we got they're using the kids this season. They didn't feel like a couple of seasons they weren't using the kids that much, hardly ever. But they're using the kids. So I kind of like that. They're the next generation, right? They're coming of age, and Allie's turning 17. Opal is like growing up before our eyes. Like it's just so it's right. It's crazy. It's like your own family. My granddaughter turns a certain age next month, and I'm like, no, it's my granddaughter. No, it doesn't work that way. So to give the kids like their little kids minute on the Valley Voice, yeah, all about them hazelnuts. So this season sounds like the hazelnuts are the prop of the century because the hazelnuts are used later in a comical way later with Lee and Lucas and his office being filled with the hazelnut boxes. So it's kind of the hazelnuts. And oh my God, I want to show you this. Get it if we can find it right away. So here's what's funny. The kids open with a kazoo. 3 weeks ago, I was in New York with a client, and my client gave me a kazoo. How we use this thing? I have a kazoo. I laughed. I go, I have one. My client just was passing out kazoos. I don't know why. I have one. So Allie talks to her dad, and she wants to now. She's turning 17. It's a little comical exchange. Fun. The writing's been a lot of fun this season so far too. Very snappy, fun writing. Really, really funny stuff. So writers, good job with that. But she wants to do a friends, just friends. Not a sleepover, not of this, which plays into episode 4, of course. But at this stage, she wants a friend thing. But she also brings up, which is kind of true, that Elizabeth and Nathan have not been on like a normal date. We haven't seen them on a normal date. They went on that picnic. We haven't seen them on with the kids, and she brings that up. But we haven't seen them on a normal date. I'm like, oh yeah, we haven't. Not really. Not funny. I didn't think of that. We haven't seen that. Then you have the various girls talking about, and Angela, them talking about dating. I'm like, this is crazy. Why do I feel all of a sudden very paternal? What are we talking about? I'm just like, these are we've invested in some of these kids. They were on the show since they were little. You're like what? What's good dating? No, we're not talking about that. And I'm a girl dad. I got 2 daughters, so I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Cut to Oliver, we get a big revelation in this episode about him. I like him. He's a cool character. I'm curious to see what happens with him. It's time for his 1 month progress report when Hargraves is going to come back and ask, and he's just like doing great and everything else, but in reading and writing, he's just not good. So Nathan is telling this to Elizabeth, and I'm glad Elizabeth said this because my thought, I know people might thinking, well, he put all that stuff together. Reading and writing are two different methods, are two different things. I on a side note, I know of like for me, I'm bilingual in Spanish. Um, I can read Spanish very well. I can understand it very well. Speaking it and writing it sometimes are two different things. I have a lot of friends who are Spanish, of Spanish descent, who can't write it. They can read it, but they're not good at writing like a whole sentence. So I'm glad that Elizabeth brought that up. That there's two different things. So that explains why he's still good at organizational skills. He can read on some level, but just like but she's like it's kind of like fourth grade, fifth grade level. We find out later about him. There's a guy named Jed who has his own little shop. Who's not happy about this stand of the kids with the hazelnut stand. And Molly, is there something brewing there? I'm like, because I'm ready for Molly to have a romance. She deserves one. My girl, a romance. Ned finds this coin. At first, the rest of the episode, they didn't talk the coin that much. So I was like, now I see it's leading into something later. But also, I was like, when he mentioned the coin like a couple of times, that was it. It was a double-headed eagle coin. It's very rare. Rosemary was turned into a story. I also want to find the shopper because the shopper had it and wants to find the shopper. So he put it in the paper to get something going. Now we have the whole Edie Martell story with Lucas. Of course, the writing's sharp, it's crisp, it's the banter. Yes, I see some chemistry between the two of them. I mean, I think she's married, but something's going on there. And we call her a shark. She's getting all the votes, everything behind the scenes, really hurting Lucas. Edwin, of course, I know Edwin's one of those characters that the actor who's playing was doing a great job because he's so smarmy. You just don't like him. But I like him on the show because he's something different. The show he's really funny. And there's a whole thing going on there. And because the Calvin Association, I guess, which is getting votes from other commissioners, is making it harder for Lucas to get this land going. And there's a funny part, which is kind of like today. The reporters want to know because Jeanette's trial. I forgot about her. I love how they're forwarding, like continuing this stuff going on still that would go on, but her trial's coming up. And I love that they're attacking Lucas, and because he was elated to her, so to speak. And all the reporters were out there, and that's a funny moment. I don't want to get all stuff there. Oliver lies to Elizabeth, says he went to Briarcliff and Cliff in Hamilton. And I knew Homegirl was going to call and find out. So I knew something was up with that because he was looking like he was guilty. I'm so glad. Here is a part that I'm so glad they're doing this. Thank you, writers. Bill and Rosemary. Bill and Rosemary are unexpected gold. Remember, we were like last week, we're like, wow, where did that come from? They are unexpected gold. I'm so glad they're doing another mystery together. But we'll talk about that in a second. But at first, everybody's hiding something from her about Lee, which you find out later what that is too. But it's funny seeing Rosemary not being left out. My girl Pascal is so good. Is don't be left out when what's going on. Everybody's hiding. Faith is hiding that he asked for an appointment. He's hiding. It's all this stuff's hiding. They're hiding. Going on. It's really funny. Edie Martell and Lucas meet on a train. I love those trains back then. I wish the trains were still. I ride the trains all the time. I wish at some level they had the like old world experience and napkins on the table and tablecloths, and I love riding the train. I think it's a lot of fun, and it was kind of cool to see them in close quarters having to deal with each other, and I guess really repartee. Um, and then then Elizabeth calls an old buddy. Oliver lied. And so, but I didn't think it was anything. I didn't think he was trying to get one over on people on purpose. I never thought that. That character didn't give me that. So he resigns. Yeah, he lied. Nathan feels tied to the oaths that he took. They almost say they took him. That's not English, folks. That he took as a Mountie, but he knows the kid is really good. And Elizabeth reminds him he's a kid and we're here to take care of him, which is the when cost the hard way, of course, right? And they kind of get into it. And she's like, I'm his teacher. That's right, girl. She's like, I'm going to take over this part, Nathan. But he is conflicted. And a good it's like I understand where he's coming from too on some level. But I'm more like Elizabeth. We're gonna work this out somehow. Because Elizabeth and Oliver, they talk. And she's like, I'm gonna try to help him. I get a lesson plan together, try to help him out, this whole thing. But for Nathan, it's like, what do I say to Hargraves? I don't want to lie. I don't know. I want to lie to him. Like, what can we say? And I gotta say, Bill talks to Nathan. I love their friendship. I love Bill. The character of Bill's so good. I'm glad that his storyline is wrapping up because I was like, where's Bill? What's he doing? Um, he tells Nathan in a way, he's like the older brother, kind of like, you can still tell Hargraves all the great things. But then, there's certain things you can leave out, you can omit that are not lies. Just what he needs to know. He's in your care, he's in your charge. Do you think he would make a good Mountie, basically? And he's like, yeah. So it's like, I love Bill's kind of, and he saw the file. I was like, we're getting Oliver for this is great. I just love that Bill was just like, there are ways around things that aren't being dishonest, but they're just, some things are on need to know basis. So I understand that later. It's one of those things where you ask for you just do it. You ask for forgiveness later, or whatever. You don't ask for permission. You ask for forgiveness later. That whole thing, I love it. I'm good with that. But there's a whole funny thing with Rosemary and Elizabeth following Lee because he and Hickam because he seems so mysterious. I love that everybody's calling him Hickam this episode. I'm an old school OG Hardy. He will always be Hickam. He's not Mike. He's Hickam. That's what he is. And it's always hard for me to call him Mike. It's like he's Hickam. So I love that everybody's calling him that. They have a hilarious whole set of scenes, and the beekeeper has everything, and they follow them, and they find out it's actually something really sweet that Hickam tells them what happened with Lucas and the whole thing, how they changed the name of the park. It's been small, all this stuff, and so Lee was like, I just want to put something down for us to show Lucas how important it is, and he had a sign made. It says Goldie Trail. And that actually, I almost brought a little tear to my eye. That was very sweet. I thought that's very sweet. Oh my God. But oh my God, Rosemary is hilarious. She was like, that's so nice. And so you're so handsome. And she was all getting into it. It was turning her on. I loved it. But the way they did it was respectful, but it was like funny. And Liz was like, time for us to go. And they're like, and it was just that whole sequence was really cute and funny and playful. I loved it. And just, I mean, Lee and Rosemary are the best. And Kevin and Pascal are such great, easy chemistry. Just love it. Meanwhile, Earl Wyatt returns, grown up, returns. Almost like used to bully me when I was a kid with that brown berry. Remember that? All that stuff. And Allie's smitten. She's just smitten kitten. But I thought, well, isn't Allie into Oliver? So we have a young triangle. We get some young love happening, young triangle. I don't know. I was like, okay. I also noticed lots of bikes. There are a lot of bikes in this episode. So we already have the cars. I'm seeing less horses. Are you too? You seeing less horses? More bikes and more cars are going through that town's getting busier and busier. But I saw a lot of bikes. I want to mention that. Lucas comes to town. I don't like that Lucas and Lee are fighting. I don't like it. It makes me mad. Makes me sad. because you can tell he wants Lee back in his good, he wants to be in Lee's good graces, and Lee is not happy. He is snarky, and the shade is real. I was chuckling. The shade is real. Oh, it's hazelnuts. I mean, he did that on purpose. He couldn't set up his office. It was hilarious. So when he was at the cafe, my girl Minnie, dispensing that wisdom, of course, um, talks to him. But also, there's only one seat left, and it's Edie who's there too. So they're doing something to get someone there. Um, and we find out some really interesting stuff at the very end. I thought it was really interesting. Um, so Oliver's foster family, last foster family, wouldn't let him go to school. They looked at him as just a farmhand, basically, and they wouldn't let him go. And so when he saw the opportunity to join the Mounties, he lied, but he wanted to get out of there. He wanted to go and do something good. So his intention was kind of, like I said, was good. The intention behind it was good. It was, back then, I guess, some people don't, the education wasn't important. So they like, you're just a farmhand, that's it. Well, that's kind of sad. So Nathan takes everybody's advice in. Nathan takes Elizabeth and Bill's and everybody, and when Hargraves comes, gives a glowing review, but just says, some reading and writing needs, writing and stuff needs some work, but we will work on them. But I think one thing with my help, he'll be a great Mountie. So Hargraves accepts it and just says, you have another month before that check-in. You have 1 month for that check-in. Oh, that's good. That's good. I think that's really good. And then we find with Lee, we find out that he's in great shape. You go see Faith, but his dad died at his age. So I have quick little side story. I have a friend. I'm not gonna say his name. I have a friend who his father died at 40, and his grandfather died at 40. So him and his brother were both very nervous. They died of the same thing. They both were very nervous as they reached their 40th birthdays. My friend was first. Since then, him and his brother have passed it, the age 40. But he said they felt it was kind of irrational to be nervous about it. Like, well, just everybody's different and whatever. But she said you can't help it. You get a little nervous because it's been playing in your head so long. And those losses are very serious losses that makes you look at life. For me, my family, they don't live a long time. On the other side, they don't live a long time either. They drop dead. They drop dead. They all drop dead. My mother almost dropped dead last year. So I know how it's weird. She's like one of the oldest people in the family now because we have nobody above her really, except for my one aunt. And she almost dropped too. So it makes me, as I'm getting older, as I'm heading into my late 50s, I'm looking around a little bit too, and I'm trying not to hold on to that. And but I get it. But also you can use it for something for good. And for my friend, he decided to go back to school, get his master's, and he did that. He completed that. So like he just decided he used it as something that's like a propelling him forward thing. Like, well, I mean, if I go at 40 or don't, there are things I want to do. And that's how I do too. I want to do things also that I want to do. And so that's why Lee was looking into a will. You think about his future, he has a daughter now. It all makes sense. Like it makes sense. So I kind of like that. That was actually very cool to help out. And then Rosemary and Bill, they're exchanging again, gold. Unsolved case about the coins. And so 20,000 coins were stolen. They could go into this whole thing, and he called it, we can uncover the Great Rocky Mountain Train Robbery of 1907. I'm in. In. Can't wait to see them work together again. I'm ready. And at the very end, we have a really cute Nathan Elizabeth on a horse in the fields, longingly looking at each other lovingly in a sunset, riding off into the sunset. That was a little mini date. But still, we ain't seen my little date. Still haven't seen that. That's my little review of episode 3 of season 12. All That Glitters. Great episode. Like I said, the writing is just sharper this season. I'm really enjoying the writing. It's a lot of fun. Let's give Faith a storyline. Let's see what anything happens with her. I want to see her in a storyline. They're saying, what about her? I guess the Canfields will probably have a story. I guess because Joseph's talking. But I want something for Minnie. And I guess we get more kids, episode 4, which I'll be doing that one next. I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. everywhere, on everything. I'm on everything at James Lott Jr. or JLJ Media everywhere. Also on everything. I'm everywhere. I'm everything everywhere all at once. um, I love you guys. I love the Hardys. More to come. Episode 4 will be next. Take care, everybody. Bye.